Hello everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar on NetFlow Analyzer. I'm Savi. I'll be hosting the NetFlow Analyzer webinar, and the topic for today is top 5 reports that make network troubleshooting easier for any network administrator. I would like to thank everyone who have joined the webinar today, and please take your time to comment yes on the chat panel or the question panel to confirm if you're able to see my screen and hear me properly. I'll wait for a minute for your confirmation to start further. So thank you everyone. I have got few confirmations. I really appreciate it. So about me, I'm Savvy, working on NetFlow Analyzer and ITOM modules for more than half a decade. I'm a managed engine evangelist working as a pre-sales engineer and consultant for the ITOM modules. So today we are gathered here to see how NetFlow Analyzer can help you in troubleshooting your network issues, or how NetFlow Analyzer can help a network engineer in making his life easier. So we all know that being a network administrator or a network engineer is not an easy task. So making sure that 24/7 across 365 days, internet availability without any hustles, and ensuring the business critical applications running throughout the network all the time is not an easy task. Trust me, it's really not an easy task. We have came across a lot of people, and yeah, I can surely say that it's not an easy thing to do. So today we are going to see how NetFlow Analyzer is going to make their life easier, and what are the 5 reports that we can generate using our tool that will be more helpful for them in order to have a hustle-free internet in their network. So the agenda for today is how do we can monitor the Cisco wireless controller, and what are the Cisco IPSLA links that we can monitor with the NetFlow Analyzer, and how we can set up alerts and alarm profiles in NetFlow Analyzer, and what are the types of storage that are available in NetFlow Analyzer. Is it raw, aggregated, and what is high performance, and what is deep packet inspection and reports. So these are the stuff that we are going to see on today's webinar. So before we start off with today's agenda, let me have a quick recap on NetFlow Analyzer. So we conducted NetFlow Analyzer Part 1 on last week, Tuesday, that is 13th of November. So we started off with an introduction to NetFlow Analyzer. So we discussed on what are the characteristics of NetFlow Analyzer, and what are the editions that is available in NetFlow Analyzer, what are the licensing model, and how NetFlow Analyzer can be helpful for a large enterprise as well as a small or a medium scale network, and what are the prerequisites of monitoring a bandwidth using NetFlow Analyzer, and how to configure the flow. So can we configure the flows by using NCM module, or by using the device CLI, or simply by using the GUI mode? And how do we can maintain an inventory with the inventory feasibility in NetFlow Analyzer, and what are the types of mapping that are available, and how do we can create a custom application mapping using NetFlow Analyzer, and what are the types of grouping available in NetFlow Analyzer. So we saw groupings like IP groups and interface grouping, and device grouping, and access point grouping, and application and DSCP grouping as well, and how efficiently we can show data on dashboard, and what are the widgets that we can create on a NetFlow Analyzer dashboard, and how efficiently it can be displayed or viewed in a knock screen viewer on your big room, and administrating NetFlow Analyzer. How do we can administrate the NetFlow Analyzer itself, and how do we manage the license, how do we manage the interfaces, and how do we manage the storage and others. So these are the stuff that we saw on a previous session. And in continuation with that, we are going to see the other features of the NetFlow Analyzer, and we'll be focusing more on reports. So I hope everyone is able to hear me and see the webinar clearly. If you have any troubles, just type if you're encountering any issues, so we'll rectify the issues immediately. And if you have any questions during the webinar that you would like to ask, so you can type all your questions in the chat panel. So either me or my experienced people at the panelist will be answering all those questions. So I would like to thank them for attending here and assisting on the answers for those questions. So to start off with, we are going to see how NetFlow Analyzer can be helpful in monitoring the wireless controllers, or simply the wireless network. So large, medium, or small. So we would like to use our Wi-Fi access point rather than the internet or an Ethernet cable. Trust me, guys, because we can use Wi-Fi on the go, in the meeting, in the conference room, wherever. So wherever we go. So we don't have to rely on the wired connections. So we have a lot of wired connections right now, access points, clients, SSIDs. But how do we can monitor the same using NetFlow Analyzer? So NetFlow Analyzer has the potential to monitor the Cisco wireless controller. We can get an in-depth analysis and the traffic of each access point, and what is the traffic that is generated or responsible for each client, and the conversation, the quality of service, and the traffic. So let me take you to the UI and show you where we can see all these wireless informations in NetFlow Analyzer. So this is a home screen of NetFlow Analyzer where we can create customizable dashboards, and what you're looking here is an inventory part. So in the inventory, all the devices that you export from the devices like switches, routers, or firewall, everything will be listed down over here. So we have a separate tab in the menu bar that is called wireless controller or WLC, which will list us all the wireless controllers and the access points that we export the flow from. And it also, again, works with the same flow technology. You have to configure the devices in order to send these flows so that it will auto-detect these flows and display you all the access points and other traffic-related information. So as you can see, I can expand the devices or the controller to see all the access points that you have forwarded. And also, the inventory, what you see here is so cool and user-friendly, so that if you are more interested on a traffic of an access point on a specified time, you can get these informations from the inventories itself. You don't have to do much navigations or much work to get these information. So say, for example, I'm more concerned on the traffic of access point for last 6 hours. So I'm more concerned on the outgoing traffic of all the access points, which is the access point that was responsible for more outgoing traffic. So I'm going to select the timeline, and it's simple. I'm going to sort the outgoing traffic, which will result me in this is a particular access point that was responsible for a huge number of traffic. So inventory is so user-friendly, and so that you can get these informations over here itself. So you can click on any one of the access points where you can get a complete information about the, let me click on an access point, wireless controller. So the data, what we are seeing here right now is the device level traffic. So where we get the traffic information on graph, and what is the maximum speed, and what is the average, and what is the volume. And it will also list me down all the access points and the traffic it is responsible for and the percentage of traffic. So one cool thing with NetFlow Analyzer is we will be able to see the information on both in and outgoing traffic as well. So you can sort these informations over here. And also it will fetch all the application related traffic, which application is responsible for how many number of traffic and what is the percentage, and what is the quality of service that is responsible. So as a network engineer, we write all the quality of services. So it is our responsibility to know which quality of service is being used the most. Is it the quality of service that I write for a business critical application is being used the most, or the traffic that is responsible for the social media sites is being used the most? So that in future I can write more quality services. And also it will result me in the conversation, like what is a client IP, and what is a client MAC address, and what is the traffic information. It will also give me on what SSID I was talking to or I was using for the conversation. So these are the informations that are available in the snapshot page of a wireless controller. And just like what you saw earlier, you can see the traffic information in bar, graph, or table format. And also the report type is available in packets or the whole number of volume that has been transferred. You'll get those informations on a single click. So now let's drill down back to the interface or the access points and see what are the access point level information we can see on a NetFlow Analyzer. So let me quickly expand the access point controller, the wireless controller, to see what are the access points that I'm forwarding the flows from. And I'm more interested on the access point, the first. So here I'll be able to see the traffic information of in and outgoing traffic. So I can sort the outgoing traffic and more focus on the in traffic and exactly sort where exactly the peak was happening. So it looks like there was a peak in 309. So I can sort it to see on which second it was happening and what is the total number of bytes that it was raising to. And also, I will get the client level informations over here. And I can also see the data in table format as well. And I can get the informations of the SSIDs and the application that is responsible for the traffic and the conversation. So yeah, there you go. So here we'll be able to see the traffic information and what are the clients that is responsible for each of the traffic, and what is the SSID, and what are the applications that is responsible for the traffic, and what is the total number of bytes or that has been transferred. And similarly, like what we saw on a wireless controller level, we will be able to see these informations on each access point as well. And since we dump all the data in our databases, just to let you know, NetFlow Analyzer supports both PG-SQL or Microsoft SQL as a database. So PG-SQL is a default database, and if you want to afford for a different database like Microsoft SQL, you can configure your existing, or if you can afford for one, you can get the same and enter the data credentials of a Microsoft SQL server while installing the application, so that the data will be dumped in the Microsoft SQL database as well. And since we dump the data in our database and there is no deletion period, you can take a report of any timeline that you wish for, so that NetFlow Analyzer will be very helpful in auditing purposes as well. And similarly, we have multiple views, like I can focus on the traffic for each SSID and the client, and what is a client MAC that is responsible for a huge number of traffic. And in one of the recent releases, we have introduced access point grouping. So this access point grouping allows you to group the certain access points together, where we can focus on the top number of traffic or the top source or the top client that is responsible for a whole group. So you can create a groups under settings, NetFlow, group settings, and access point group. So this is where you create an access point group. So where you have the feasibility of grouping certain access points together, just like this. And once you hit save, the access point group will be available. And from then you can focus on the group level traffic, and where the information will be furnished just like other views that you have seen before. So yeah, so here you'll be able to see the traffic for the whole group and the client and the SSIDs and the application for whole access point group. So let's quickly go back to the slides and see what is the next topic that we are going to see. So the next topic that we are going to see today is access point grouping we just saw, and CISCO IPSLA. So we can monitor the WAN, VoIP, and video links of any Cisco devices using the IPSLA technology. So we are very efficiently monitoring the IPSLA information. So let me quickly show you in the UI. So yeah, there you go. So we use the IPSLA technology in order to monitor the WAN links in your network. So say, for example, if you want to monitor the availability, the round trip time, and the path hop time of a WAN interface, we can monitor the same with the help of IPSLA. And similarly, we will be able to pull out what is a mean of service, which helps you to monitor the quality of any VoIP calls in your network, along with the jitter speed. And when I mean jitter, we do include the source to destination jitter as well as the destination to source jitter, along with the latency on what late or what is a delayed response that packets are being delivered, and what is a packet loss. We will be able to monitor for any VoIP links, and similarly for the video links. And trust me, in the latest era of technology, we do use a lot of VoIP calls. We do make a lot of VoIP calls in a lot of organizations, along with some screen sharing applications, video streaming applications, and such WebEx sessions and webinars. So we should ensure that these have enough prerequisites so there is no latency or lack of communication. So let's see, how do we add a device, or how do we add an interface in order to monitor the WAN link information. So I'm going to hit the WAN tab, and yeah, these are the information that are necessary. You should select the device and select the interface, WAN interface, and define any IP address to calculate the round trip time and define the name. So once you furnish with these informations, we can monitor the round trip time of an WAN interface along with the path hop time. So these are the informations that we can saw for a WAN interface. So next is VoIP interface. So just like how we added a interface in WAN, the same applies over here. So once the VoIP has been added, you will get these informations. So in the snapshot page of a VoIP link, you'll be able to see what is a round trip time, and all the data what you see here is in milliseconds. And yeah, what is a source to destination jitter and the destination to source jitter speed, along with the availability of the VoIP interface. And as I told you earlier, we do monitor the mean of service, which helps you to monitor the quality of any VoIP calls that you make. So this will be so efficiently displayed and so user-friendly so that you'll be able to monitor all the quality of the VoIP calls that you make. So I got a question from Joanna. So the question is, can we set threshold values for parameters like round trip time or delayed responses so that I can get notified and check on the configuration? So that was a question asked by Joanna. So the answer is yes. So we do have the feasibility of defining the threshold values for the same. So when you navigate to settings, IP SLA, where you can set threshold values for the mean of service or the jitter, what should be the upper and the lower jitter speed, along with the latency and the packet loss. So the values are customizable. You can define these values so that you'll get notified if the value is being violated. And Joanna, it is not only for VoIP, you can also do the same for WAN links as well as the video links. And once it is being violated, you will get notified using NetFlow Analyzer, a notification mechanism. So now let me go back to the slides. So yeah, we just saw what are the informations we can see for an VoIP link and along with the video links. The next is alarms and alert profile. So NetFlow Analyzer is so well defined or engineered that helps you to monitor the interfaces, and also it will allow you to get notified using an email or SMS or by sending an SNMP traps. So you can use any one of these notification mechanism or all of them for that matter and get notified if there is something wrong in your network. So now let me show you how to configure an alert profile in NetFlow Analyzer. So we have a by default notification profile or called as alarm profile as well, which is linked down. So you can use the link down notification profile in order to send a notification if the interfaces are down. So this link down calculates if the interface is down or not by the flow that we receive. So every interface sends a flow continuously in order to monitor the bandwidth. So if an interface is not sending flows for 15 consecutive minutes, it means that the interface is down. So if you enable this link down alert alarm profile, we will immediately send you an email notification stating that a link is down. You can use the same for any business critical interfaces or links, or even for WAN links. All you have to do is you have to select the WAN links just like this over here. And along with it, we provide you or furnish you with the feasibility of creating multiple notification profiles. Yeah. So once you click add to create a notification profile, you have the feasibility of focusing on a certain IP group or a certain interface group. So let's say that I'm more focused on the WAN interfaces in my network or WAN links. So as an end user, I have got 3 WAN links from an ISP. So I have created an WAN interface group, and I'm going to associate this group for this alert profile to get notified if something goes wrong. And I'm more concerned on both in and outgoing traffic. And yes, I want to enable the business hours. And the business hour of my office is from 8 a.m. to 19, which is 7 p.m. And I'm going to exclude the weekends because we are weekends off. And here I have the feasibility of setting the threshold values in terms of utilization, volume, speed, and the packets transfer. So you can choose any one of them. So I'm more concerned on the utilization of my WAN link. So I'm going to say if the utilization of my WAN link exceeds 98% for say that 3 consecutive times in 120 minutes. So which means it's a crucial or a critical alert. So my WAN link shouldn't get 98% utilized. And if I don't make any changes, if it prolongs, there is a chance where I might run off internet connectivity. So I'm going to set the severity as critical. So here you have the feasibility of setting the severity. Severity is nothing but giving importance to the type of alert. So critical, which is the topmost severity. And And then I have the feasibility of setting, should I send you an email, or it's going to be an SNMP trap, or simply an SMS. So I'm more concerned on the email. I'm more active on my email. So I'm going to define my email address over here. And along with that, for auditing or for a quick reporting purpose, you have the feasibility of emailing this report if the RAW is enabled. So you can also use the same and hit next and define this information so that once the alarm is created, or if the threshold value is being violated, you will get an immediate notification to your email address so that you can take proactive active measures. So I got a quick question from one of the attendees, and her name is Mary. So the question is there okay, NetFlow Analyzer sends me an alert using mail or an SMS. Is there a way that I can see all the alarms that has been triggered in my devices or in my network on a single page in NetFlow Analyzer, or is there a way that I can see it? So yes, Mary, we do have a feasibility of seeing all the alarms that has triggered in the NetFlow Analyzer. So we have a single unified tab over here where it will list you down all the alarms that has been triggered. And you have the feasibility of sorting the alarms according to the severities. So you can say that if I'm more focused on the critical alarms, yes, you can just sort accordingly. And also you can sort the alarm by the category or the severity. And also focus on the timeline. So you also have the feasibility of sorting the time so that you can focus on the alarms that has been triggered during that specified time, which is again more useful in auditing purposes. So I'm more concerned on the alarm of my MediaNet device. I'm going to hit on that. So let's see what are the informations that I can see on the alert page. So once I click on the device alarm page, it takes me to a page where I can see all those informations. When I'm in informations, all the events. So this means that these are the threshold violation or any alarms that is triggered on the device in the past. So this is very helpful for me, again, in the auditing purposes, so that I can define or make sure that nothing happens or prevent these such type of alarms in future. And since NetFlow Analyzer is bundled with NCM module, so you have two separate alarms where you can focus on NFA and NCM alarms separately, and one common unified alarm where all the alarms are displayed. So I hope I answered your question, Mary. So let me quickly go back to the slides and focus on the next topic that we're going to see today, the storage settings. So NetFlow Analyzer from Managed Engine uses multiple mechanisms of storing the devices. So we use something called as raw data, aggregated data, and 1-minute data to populate the information on multiple places or multiple views that you see on NetFlow Analyzer. So let me focus on first, let me explain first what is raw data. So raw data is the information that we receive from the devices or the interfaces. So we don't parse those information, we don't aggregate, or we don't do any manipulation on the information that is sent from the devices. It is just dumped in the database of NetFlow Analyzer. So this raw data is used for is mainly used for auditing purposes. We have a special type of report called forensics, and this forensics will have all the transactions irrespective of negligible bandwidth or any unique traffic. So everything will be recorded over here, and the forensics report will be used for, again, the auditing purposes as well. And by default, the raw will be turned off because the database size will increase exponentially if you save the raw data for a longer time. And we have the next type of data that is called aggregated data. And the aggregated data will be turned on by default. You don't have the feasibility of turning on and off. And it is used for historical reporting. So as the name suggests, we aggregate all the data, all the traffic information together. So if there is a traffic between A and B, and if there are a lot of records for it, we aggregate all the A and B traffic together and display it as a single record. And we just enter all the unique traffic below these informations. So this aggregated data is used in almost all the places where you see data in NetFlow Analyzer. Let it be inventory, let it be reports, we use aggregated data. And aggregated data is more focused on the historical reporting. So let me quickly show you where we can do that changes over here. So you should navigate to settings and storage settings. So yeah, so under the storage settings column, we have all these types of data where you can use the same. And in NetFlow Analyzer, we manage the data that we receive so efficiently so that we have multiple tables like 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hour, and 24-hour and 1 week data. So we categorize these tables in such a way that the information is passed and populated in all the places that you see. So the NetFlow Analyzer can be, the raw data can be enabled on or off, and then you can choose the data retention period. So you can choose from the lowest of 1 hour to a maximum of 1 year. And also you have the feasibility of selecting what are the devices that you should save the raw for. And you can also get notified if you run out of low disk space. And the next is aggregated data. And yeah, by default, the aggregated data stores 100. You have the feasibility of expanding it up to 300 and also define the data retention period. And we have something called as 1 minute data. So that information, what you see on the near real-time traffic of an interface. So let me quickly show it to you. So when you expand an interface of a device and enter into it, there is a tab called traffic information. And this traffic information will help you see all the near real-time traffic. And it has been saved in the 1 minute data in a flat file database format. And also you have the feasibility of choosing how long should I retain the NBAR and the CBQS information, as well as the autonomous data system. So should I really save the autonomous system or not? You have the feasibility of choosing it. So let's quickly go back to the slides to see what are the types of, what is the next topic that we are going to cover today. High performance. So high performance is an add-on in NetFlow Analyzer, which is used for storing and retrieving the raw data more efficiently. So raw data is suggested for a requirement where people says that I need to store the raw data for more than 6 months or up to 1 year. And once you decide to save the raw data from 6 months to 1 year, PGSQL lacks the capability of handling such huge amount of data. So it is not a limitation of NetFlow Analyzer, but it's a limitation of the database itself. So to overcome these scenarios, we have introduced a concept called high performance, which is nothing but uses a columnar database concept. So this allows us to efficiently store and retrieve the data so that the database transactions and the report fetching for 1 hour, or 1 year, or 6 months will happen so smoothly if we use the high performance. And it also saves the troubleshooting time and better visibility for a longer period of time. And it has to be enabled over here, and it has to be, and again, it's an add-on which has to be purchased separately, which has a license separately. So the next topic that we are going to cover today is deep packet inspection. So DPI is an acronym for deep packet inspection, which is also called as packet analysis in NetFlow Analyzer. So as a network engineer who's maintaining some business critical applications which is being utilized on daily basis, must experience a scenario where he gets a call from an end user and says that he's experiencing a slowness in application. He's not sure whether the network is slow or the application itself slow. The end user doesn't furnish us with this information. As an end user, he just says that I'm not able to access the business critical application. So most of the time, 90% of the time, network engineers relies or checks the network, whether the port is accessible, whether there is any congestion in the traffic, or whether there is any access point list that is blocking the traffic. But there is a possibility where the application itself could be slow. So he doesn't get this information either from the end user or from the devices that he has. So we came up with a concept called DPI, which was introduced in the recent times. So we use the concept of port mirroring in one of your devices in your network, where all the traffic information is channelized through it, and we use the same information in order to identify the network response time or the application response time of an application in your network. So which gives a better visibility to a network administrator in order to focus on the right path. So if the trouble is on application and focusing the troubleshooting on network doesn't help to resolve the issue at the earliest. So network engineer can overcome these issues with the help of DPI concept in NetFlow Analyzer. So you have to do the port mirroring, and once it is done, all the information will be populated under the DPI column, where I can see the application. And as you can see, it will also give me what is the application response time and what is the network response time and what is the conversation of each traffic. So I will get these informations over here on a single page. So on the top conversation, I will get what is the source and the destination and what is the URL that I'm trying to access, on what is a port and what is the response time of each for each conversation. So there might be a repeated end user who will be saying that I'm experiencing slowness, where the other end users will be having no trouble with an application at all. For this requirement, again, you can focus on you can get the IP address of the end user who's repeatedly saying that he's experiencing the slowness, and focus on the conversation so that you can easily sort out, is it the network response time is slow, or it is taking the application itself is taking more number of time to respond. So with these visibility, you can easily sort out the devices in a matter of minutes. And also, you'll be able to see the traffic information on each application along with the source. So for each source, you'll be able to see the traffic information for layer 4 applications, and again, the whole conversation list as well. So as you can see here, it will give me information on the traffic from each source and what are the layer 4 applications and what is the URL or the application that I've been trying to access and what is the response time of each and what is the traffic for each layer 4 application or the URL that I'm trying to access. And again, we do store all these information in our database permanently, so you can sort the timeline and view the data that you want to choose. So now let me focus on the slides again. Reports. So we have multiple types of reports that is available in NetFlow Analyzer, starting from a forensic report, which is one of the majorly used report of all in using NetFlow Analyzer, along with the capacity planning report, which gives you a better visibility or idea or knowledge in order to how to plan the capacity of your network or infrastructure in future. And also it has the feasibility of creating custom reports where you can use the report profile and create custom reports with conversation, traffic, and application related information. And also we have the feasibility of concentrating on a consolidated report in terms of IP group or in terms of interface group or in terms of the application group that you can create. So let's focus on each and every report that is available in NetFlow Analyzer with a use case. Under the reports column, you have the feasibility of selecting all the reports that are available in NetFlow Analyzer, starting from capacity planning to consolidated reports. So let's first focus on the forensics report, which is being majorly used for all the big enterprises for auditing purposes. So this forensic purpose or the forensic report is used when, say for example, I'm getting an alert for overutilization of an interface, or a specific source or an application is consuming a lot of traffic. So how do we manage this information? So we can manage the same using by configuring a device so that the network is back to normal. And how do I sort the information? And how do we get what is the reason for getting such a huge number of traffic, where I can see those informations? So to see an in-depth analysis of the traffic information, we can focus on the forensics report, where I have the feasibility of selecting the devices and selecting the interfaces. And if you have a specific criteria in mind, say that I want to see a report of a particular application, you can define the same and add multiple criteria to it. And also, along with that, you have the feasibility of defining the time and the date. So from which day to which day you need to see the traffic information for. And you can simply hit quick generate report. Once the report is generated, you'll have the 1 minute data of the near real-time traffic or when exactly the peak happened. So you can quickly focus on or get a quick visibility of when the peak happened information. Along with, you can also see the data in utilization, speed, and the packets that has been transferred. And also you have the feasibility of seeing the data in multiple columns. And under the application tab, you will get the information of what is the topmost used application and what is the percentages of usage in it, and how much MB is of the applications utilizing this information. You will get these informations over here, along with the source, along with the source, the destination, and the DSCP and the conversation as well. So this information will give you a quick overview about how the traffic information is on the specified timeline that I have chosen. So what is a conversation? What are the two IPs that are talking the most? And what is a source port? And what is a destination port? And what is a protocol that I was using for the traffic? I will get all these informations on a simple forensic view. And as I told you earlier, forensic is used majorly for auditing purposes. And it can be, again, used to fetch a huge number of data for like 6 month data or 12 months data, that is 1 year data. And for seeing the data under forensics, we need to enable raw first. So it is mandatory. So the next type of report that we are going to see today is capacity planning. So let's say that a business, as a network administrator, your business decision maker announces you that they're going to launch a new business application or a website for that matter, and they request you to allocate the resources more efficiently. And or to be more precise, as a use case, as a network administrator, you're getting the traffic information, which gives an equal priority for both the business critical applications as well as the social media applications. So as a network administrator, the quality of service should be more focused on the business critical applications, and it should have the least priority on the social media site applications. So we can get these informations and allocate the capacity and plan with the help of capacity planning report over here. So you can select what is the resource type that you want to focus on. Is it going to be an interface or an interface group? You can take the devices and select what interface you're more focused on. And what is the type of information that I'm more bothered about? Is it the speed or the volume or the total number of packets that has been transferred? And just like other reports, you have the feasibility of selecting the business hours and excluding the weekends. And once you hit the generate report, a report will be generated and it will be displayed on a more efficient manner. So let me quickly go back and select an interface for you so that you'll be able to see what are the information and how you can see the same. So here I have selected the particular V9 basic device, which is exporting the NetFlow packets. And this is a 1 minute data. And I will get a quick information on what is the in traffic and the out traffic, and what is the data points, and what is the average usage of in application and the outgoing application. So with these information, I can write more efficient quality of service in future that gives more priority to the business critical applications rather than the social media applications. So these are the information, and this is how we can get the capacity planning report using NetFlow Analyzer, and it will be used in multiple aspects. The next type of report that we are more focused on is billing. So say, for example, you are an ISP who generates a bill every month in order to get revenue from your end customers, or simply you are an end user who gets internet connection from multiple ISPs. And either way, you're more focused on the utilization of yours, and you're more bothered about whether I'm bill charged, and whether the billing has been generated properly or genuinely, and to get a quick insight about what is the utilization of my network so that I can rechange the plan and stuff like that. So in order to do these, we have a report type called billing report, where you have to furnish informations like what is a base speed and what is a base cost, and what is a additional speed and what is a extra cost for each additional speed, and what is the thing that I'm more focused on. Is it the in and out? So I can define these informations and I can associate the devices together, which will result me in a bill. And you also have the feasibility of scheduling the billing report so that every month you don't have to visit here and generate the bill. The bill will be generated and will be sent to your email address. So you can sit and check whether the bill that you receive from the other end is efficient and both are matching or not. So this is how the bills will be. So let me focus on a certain bill so that I can show you a report of how the billing report will be available. So this is a base cost, and this is the additional cost that you have to pay, and this is a report generation time, and this is a utilization time as well. So this is so user friendly, and also you have the feasibility of exporting the report in PDF, CSV, or any format for that matter. So the next type of report that is available is consolidated report. So say for example, back to the same WAN interface use case, I'm more focused on the traffic of all the WAN interfaces in my network. And I wish to generate a report so that I can submit it to my higher authorities, or I can use the same for efficiently improving the WAN utilization. So to get a consolidated view of all such interfaces, or even the IP groups or the access points or the wireless controllers, you can use this consolidated report where all you have to do is you have to select the source mode, select the device, and define the other informations like the speed, the traffic type, and the time period. Where a report will be generated so that you'll have a complete visibility of the live traffic information along with its source, the destination, and what is the in and the out application information as well. So you will get all these informations on a single view so that you can export it and submit it for any auditing or any comparison purposes. So the next most important report in NetFlow Analyzer is compare report. So we use this compare report for multiple use cases. So let's say that one of the biggest online shopping site is Amazon, who announces a big billion day for certain countries, and he's more focused. So he informs his network engineer to analyze the request that is from each country. So as a network engineer, I should get this information of which country is for which country the traffic is more to Amazon website, and so that I can use the resources in relocate the resources. So to get these informations, I can use this compare report where I can compare multiple devices for the same time slot, and I can also choose the report type, whether I'm more focused on speed or the volume that has been transferred. So I can furnish with these informations and say generate report, where the report will tell me what is the traffic information for all the devices that I have selected. So just like this, I'll get an information of which device or which location device is consuming a lot of traffic, and what is the total number of traffic to them, and what is the maximum and the minimum traffic information to them. So we will get these informations on a single view. And also, we have another type of compare report, which is called comparing a device behavior for multiple timeline. So the traffic to a network or an enterprise could be different during business critical hours and non-business critical hours. And to get the traffic information of during the business hours and non-business hours, I can use the same compare same device for different timeline. I can define the informations like what is a report type that I'm more focused on. Is it the packet that is being transferred or the volume? And I can also select the time period along with the device, which will give me again the informations of the traffic according to different timeline. And the next type of report that I'm more focused on is report profile. So report profile allows or helps the user in order to create and customized report where he has the feasibility of defining filters and focus on the information that is more necessary for him. So in order to create a report profile, I have to navigate to the report profile column, add a filter. So this filter allows you to focus on what is the information that you're more focused on. So I'm more focused on the HTTP traffic or any certain application traffic for that matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose that application and move it along. And not only application, you have the feasibility of selecting the sources as well, the destination, or simply the protocol line. So I'm going to hit a filter and hit save. So this is how you create a filter using a NetFlow Analyzer report profile. And once the filters are created, you can simply choose the add profile column where you have the feasibility of selecting the report on multiple options, widely available options. So you can start focusing from the application level report or the conversation report or the source report or the destination report or simply the quality of service report. So I can choose what are the report profiles that are more necessary for me, define the name, and here I can say what is the criteria that I should apply for it. So am I more focused on the non-business critical applications? So I'm going to hit the filter that I have just created, and I'm going to hit next and hit save. So once the report profile is created, you again in the last page you'll have the feasibility of scheduling it so that every month on month the report will be sent to your email address. And also in order to view the report, you can simply click over here so that you will get the informations of the application traffic and the conversation, or what are the reports that I have selected. Everything will be listed over here accordingly. And again, you have the feasibility of scheduling the report, where you can schedule any type of report in NetFlow Analyzer and send it to your email address in a periodical format. So you don't have to visit NetFlow Analyzer every now and then in order to generate a report. And the next type of report that I want to focus is IP group consolidation, where you will get a complete report comparing all the IP groups that you have created. So you can compare the IP groups that you have created in terms of speed, volume, or the utilization, and select the timeline as well. So I'm more focused on the last 6 hours of the speed traffic type for all the IP groups that I have created. So this is a sample report that I will get comparing all the IP groups that I have created and what is the in traffic and the out traffic and what is the total traffic percentage. So I have the feasibility of sorting the traffic information. So let's quickly go back to the slides and see what are the reports that we saw. So we just saw most of the reports that are available in NetFlow Analyzer, and then we talked on forensics report and how to create a report profile and summary. So today we just saw how do we can monitor a wireless controller using NetFlow Analyzer, and how do I can get a quick insight about the response time of an application or a response time of a network using the NetFlow Analyzer port mirroring concept using the DPI or the deep packet inspection. And how do I can monitor the links in my network, like WAN links, VoIP links, and the video links using the CISCO IPSLA technology. And what are the notification profiles that are available, how I can create a notification profile, and where I can see all the alarms that has been triggered on the devices together. And what are the storage types that are available, and what is the difference between the raw, aggregated, and 1 minute data. And what are the report profiles that are available in NetFlow Analyzer, how efficiently we can generate a report, and what is high performance. So these are the informations we saw on today's session. So we have quite a few things in our roadmap. So some of the things that I want to mention is we are more concerned on bringing the feature of monitoring VPC cloud, and we also planning to include the CISCO PFR monitoring along with the flow visualization, where as of now, you'll be able to see the flow information in traffic, graph, or pie chart format. And we are also planning to improve along with a lot more visualizations. And we are planning to enhance the dashboards by including a lot of widgets in it, adding a lot of widgets, and giving the feasibility of creating multiple widgets icons. And as of now, access point grouping is released in the recent times, as we promised in our previous webinar. Just like that, we are yet to release our SSID grouping along with the client grouping and the application grouping. So these are the stuff that we can focus in the near future, and we will be posting the same in a roadmap page as well. And you can contact us by so we have our YouTube channel called Op Manager, so where all the webinar videos that will be hosted over there. So if you have missed the previous webinar, or if you want to share the current webinar to your peer who missed it, you can share them. All the videos that is taken today will be shared or hosted in YouTube. And also we have our online help document where you can get a quick glimpse about the whole product features. And also we have an online demo site. So if you wanted to have a quick feel, you can use the online demo site that is called demo.netflowanalyzer.com, where you will have a look and feel of the tool. And we have very active forums where we update ourselves with the technology and write forums and blogs on how NetFlow Analyzer is adapting to the latest technologies. And again, traditionally, you can reach us using the below numbers anytime. And yeah, just to let you know, the tool comes with a 30-day evaluation. So if you're planning to evaluate the tool, or if you are already an evaluator, you can drop us an email to eval-item@manageengine.com. So we will address any of your concerns. And just to let you know, you can avail free technical support from us during the evaluation. So please don't hesitate to contact us for any assistance. And if you're a purchase customer, just like old times, please drop us an email to netflowanalyzer-support@manageengine.com, where our experienced support technicians will be more happy to assist you on your same. So questions. So I have got few questions here. So the first question that I got, the first question that I have got from Dell is, so can I take a forensic report from DPI? So we just saw the forensic report for a NetFlow, which will give me information on the interfaces level traffic, or the device level traffic, or the IP group level traffic. So just like that, can I take a forensic report for a DPI, which is a deep packet inspection, which was released in the recent times? So yes, Dell, we have a DPI column separately under the reports page, where you can focus, define the criteria, and select the timeline so that a forensic report will be generated, where you can use the same for auditing purposes to consolidate it. What is the slowness for? Is it the application or the response time? And just to let you know, we have a dashboard view for the DPI as well. So where you can use this efficient dashboard view, where the data will be get updated, where you can get a quick glimpse about what are the top most used application and by network response time, and what is the top end applications by applications response time. And also you have the feasibility of running these dashboards in the Knox screen as well. So these are some of the default dashboards that are available in NetFlow Analyzer. So I hope most of the questions have been answered by our experienced panelists, and these are some of the questions that I have experienced for today. And so thank you, gentlemen. I'm being overwhelmed by the response that I had today. You guys are always a strength, and please do let us know if you need any features in future. We have dedicated couple of development teams who's working on improving the performance and including a lot more features and bringing it more competitive in the market. And we have a separate development team who's focused on more fixing the vulnerabilities and bug fixes. So thank you for attending the today's session. Hope it was informative. And yeah, please do support us all the time. And there will be a feedback link that will be sent to you at the end of the session. So please make sure that you fill the same, and let us know your feedbacks about the webinar or a tool as well, so that we can improve ourselves. And yeah, as there is always, there is a room for it, improvement. So thank you, everyone. It's nice having you here. Thank you for attending the webinar.